Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to AskPot Office Hours live help session. So this is where you can ask quick question about AskPot and get live help. So feel free to drop it on the chats or maybe unmute your mic. That's fine too. So we also do live builds to show you guys how different AskPot tools work in real use cases. So just to give you like a few use cases that you can use for your clients. Also, if you're in a specific type of industry, I believe these live builds can tremendously help you. And all of these are recorded and they are being posted on our school community so that if you do need a recap of it, you'll be able to access it just as immediately. So let's see who we have here in the call. I think Thursday is like Thursday is a silent day today, right? I mean, it's just a few of us here on the call, but we are going to build something meaningful today. So say keep on with me, guys. I see we have on the call, we have Dawn. Good morning, Dawn. We have Steve. Good morning. And we have Tom. All right. I think a few others are also joining. Still going to be joining us today. So yeah, again, during the live build, if you have any question at all, feel free to stop me and ask your question. I tend to speak very fast, so you don't need to unmute your mic or just type it in the chat if you have any questions. Okay, so I think for today's build, so I will show you how to build a super practical tool that you can either use internally, or if you want, you can offer it as a service to your clients, especially if you're working with consultants, you're working with founders, we are working with executives that are trying to grow a personal brand. So the title for today's live help topic is the AI thought leadership post generator. So this tool that we are building today will help busy professionals turn a few ideas, few rough thoughts into a link and a link to an article into a polished platform ready post for LinkedIn in under 2 minutes. So basically, we're going to ask them for their thoughts regarding an article, and then the AI will turn that article and their thoughts into a platform ready post for their LinkedIn account. And we aim to do that in within 2 minutes. So we'll build this live using Aspots in Teleform. And I will walk you through how to connect it to web browsing. Of course, we need to enable web browsing so that it will be able to digest the content of the article. And then I'll also show you the prompt logic for this so that we'll get the final result that we want for this tool. So let me go ahead and go to my to my Aspot account. So again, to all of those who just recently joined, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to stop me. Feel free to ask your question. So we are here to get you unblocked on anything or anything that you have concerns with about Aspot. So let me go ahead and go to my bot samples. And let's just wait for that a little bit to load. There you go. Last week, this was what we built. This Intelliform is what we built. So let me add another one. Create. And then this one is going to be another Intelliform. And then let's just name it AI Talk Leadership LinkedIn. There you go. And create. All right. Now let's go inside and add a few things in there. So we are inside our Intelliform. Now let me just add a cover page. So I like to start with the cover page when it comes to creating my Intelliforms. I mean, I like to design the cover page first before anything else. So delete that. Okay, now let me just use rich text formatting for this. And then let's just put the title of our Intelliform, post generator. There you go. And highlight that, turn that into heading number 1. There you go. So let me just save the changes for that. Okay. Next, let me just use subtitle for this. And then this one's going to be for executives founders and consultants. There you go. And save that again. So next, let's add an image for this. So I already created like the cover image for this Intelliform using Canva. If you want a copy of that also, so you can brand it according to yours, let me know. I'm an avid user of Canva. I mean, I love it. So open that and paste that right there. One second, let me just crop this. Crop it like this. Okay, I think that's better. Upload that. Okay, so that's been uploaded and let's just change I think we'll need to change the maximum height of that one. Yep, there you go. As you can see, it looks a little bit small for the page. So let's change this to 550 is, let's try to make it 650. Second, 650. There you go. Did something change? Yeah, I think it's much bigger now. Okay, awesome. Next, let me just add another rich text because I want to add like an info about this Intelliform that they will be using. Just get that. Delete this right here. And there you go. Enter your rich text here. And just delete that. Okay, so this is going to be our description for this Intelliform. So why use this? Da, 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 build your personal brand, share unique insights without spending hours writing, stay top of mind with your network and industry. Whether you're a seasoned exec or rising founder, this generator helps you show up smart, fast, and often. Okay, awesome. I think that sounds okay. Just remove this space right here. It didn't. One second. Let me try that again. Okay. All right. Now, let me just change this button to let's start. Yeah, that one. And save that again. All right, so this is how it looks like now. So it looks pretty good for a cover page. So it does hook them into filling out and trying out this Intel form. So let me now go to our input page. Okay. So for our inputs, we will be asking them a few questions like we'll be collecting their name, their title and role, the article URL, of course, their quick thoughts about it. Then we're going to ask them to pick a tone. I mean, do they want it to be conversational, informative, something like that? And then we're also going to ask them how long they want the post to be. So let me just do that real quick. I'll be using, I think, let me just add a title for now. Generator. And one second, save changes. Let me just remove my zoom controls. It keeps getting into my screen view. There you go. I think that's better. All right, now let me use input block for this. So this one's going to be the executive name. So, and then label, let's just add executive name. And then for our helper text, let's just ask them to enter their full name in here. And this is a required field. You need to make sure that's required. Okay. Next, let's add another input block for that. Click inside it. And this one's going to be for their executive role. That's misspelled. And this will be their title or role. And then we'll ask them to enter your current title role. There you go. And this one's another required field. Next is we'll ask for the article URL itself that they want to turn into a post, of course. So this is going to be article underscore URL for the unique ID. And like what I've always mentioned, guys, it's always best practice to add your own unique ID instead of the custom generated one in here. Um, and then use the helper text for additional guide. There you go. Okay, next, let's add another input block. And this one's going to be about their quick thoughts about it. So unique ID, thoughts, there you go. Label is going to be this. And then helper text will be just a few words will help. There you go. Save changes, so they don't really need to think too much into it. Just a few words would help us, or would help the AI um with their result. So next one that we are going to be using is the select block right there. And so this one's going to be the tone. And we will ask them to pick a tone for their pose. And then add another helper text, the tone that you want for your pose. And then we'll give them a few options. So this one's going to be professional. This one's going to be conversational. No. And this one's going to be inspirational. And this one, let's just say this small bold, and let's set that as a required field. I don't think I've set this as a required field. Let me just try to do that again. Save that. Do this again. There you go. Let's just make sure that we have everything required, because we do need this inputs in order to generate our output. So let me just go ahead and add another select block right there. Okay, so this one's going to be how long do you want the post to be? So this will be post underscore length. And then the label is the exact question. And then just a helper text, enter the length of the post. Do you want it to be 100 words? Do you want it to be within 200 words or 300 words and below? There you go. So the AI will not exactly generate, exact 300 words, but it will help it will help guide the AI with how many words it can provide for that specific post. So this is just like a guide for the AI, and let's set that as a required. Okay. All right. So let me just take a look here. So we have our executive name, title and role, article URL. Maybe let's add a checkbox. Yeah, let's add a checkbox. And then this one's going to be, we'll be asking them if they want to include hashtags on their posts. Okay. Um, ask them a quick question. Remove the helper text. We don't need that. And then mark this checkbox. Nope, don't need that to be set as mandatory. And then next, let's add another checkbox for if they want to include a CTA. So let me just add that. And then the label will be include CTA. Then let's just delete the helper text right there. Okay. All right. So that looks a bit better. Now let me just save this and do a preview of what we've built so far. I like to see how it looks like first before I move on to the prompt. Okay, so basically this is our cover page. This is the first thing that they will see if you provide them with this landing page of the Intelliform. Um, let's get started. Okay. All right. So this is what the form looks like for them on their end. So if they don't fill it out, okay, it will turn red. So it is a required field in here. Can include hashtags. Okay, so the form's fully functional. So now let's move on to adding our prompt. Okay, so this is going to be the most important thing for our AI. Right now, we don't need to add sources for this because we will enable web browsing so that the AI can go in and take a look at the article that they want to turn into a post. So we don't really need sources for this since the article itself varies. So there's no fixed sources for this, but you can add a source where you're like giving um comprehensive knowledge base to the AI on how you wanted to formulate this post. So, but for this right now, I didn't create a specific knowledge base for this. I think it will work without that. So let me go ahead and go to our prompt. So prompt one. Yep, we only need one prompt for this. But mind you guys that with the Intelliform, you can add up to 5 prompts. So you can do prompt training as we call it. And create or provide an output using multiple AI prompts. So yeah, I think it will allow you to add up to 5. There you go. Prompts right here. So that's just an example of one thing that you can do with the Intelliform. I mean, it's super cool. I love it. Let me just delete this and delete that. And one thing that you can add also, guys, just to show you this is you can add a webhook right here from this exact prompt builder. So if you want, you can set it up inside the prompt builder inside the Intelliform. So this is the only tool where you can do this, where you can set up the exact webhook based on the prompt builder. So over here, you'll see the sample data that will be sent over to the webhook if you do decide to set this up. So mostly it is the form inputs itself along with the result from prompt one. So this is going to be the AI's result. So it's best to change the name of the prompt also. Let me just delete this. We won't be doing that today. So click here. And then this one's going to be AI response. There we go. Or AI. Just change that to AI output instead. AI output. Prompt 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think this is fine. Okay, next. So over here, we have these question IDs. So that's what we will be using to reference in our prompt. Let me just show you guys the exact prompt that I'll be using for this. Okay. So basically, we're just defining its role. You are an expert ghostwriter and LinkedIn content strategist. Its task is to create a professional thought leadership post. So what it will do is to read and summarize the key points of the article at the article URL that we will be provided by the user. And then it will integrate the executive's personal opinions from thoughts to create a unique perspective. And then we ask for the tone, right? Because we want it to reflect based on their role. Let me just change that. Their role and also their name if it's provided. I mean, I think it will be provided because that's a requirement. So let me just delete that. There you go. And then I want you to draft a post length word LinkedIn post that starts with a strong hook, summarize the key issue from the article. So you need to also add the unique insights from the executive and with a question to encourage engagement. Okay. We also added a prompt for when they want to include hashtags. So we will only provide 3 to 5 relevant hashtags. We don't want to do too much. And then the call to action will be if they said yes, we will add a short call to action. And then this is going to be the exact output format. And then very important, do not forget, we need to enable web browsing or else it will not work um from the start. So first part of the prompt is to read and summarize the key points from an article. So that will not work unless we enable web browsing. Okay, so let's go ahead and save changes for that. Oh, just a quick tip, guys. We highly recommend to use GPT 4.0 GPT 4.0 mini or GPT 4.0 4 turbo when web searching. Okay, it's because of the size of the search results. So let's save changes. Okay, just make sure this is active. All right, install form setting updated, and let me just go here under customization, see if there's anything that we need to um change in here. I think we're good. Let's change this to 4.0. Okay, OpenAI, I'm using OpenAI. And you can add a secondary AI platform, fallback if you want. And let's see here, accuracy and creativity balance. I think we're good with this. So let me just save changes. And now let's do a preview and start testing this Intelliform. Okay. So AI tele leadership. Let's get started. Okay. Executive name. Let's say it's Kimberly. Uh, IMEO, and let's just say director, human sources. Okay, and then the article URL. So let me just grab an article from Forbes. So it's this one that we will be using. So it's AI in the future of leadership in tech and on Wall Street. Okay, so that's the article that we will be using for this. And then your quick thoughts about it. Let's just say AI will change leadership priority, empathy and strategy, technical skills. Leader must learn to interpret AI insights. Okay. And then for our tone, let's just say we want it bolder, and the post length will be, let's set this to maximum 300 words. And then include hashtag. Nope, we don't need to include hashtag. And then let's just include call to action for that. So let's see now what kind of post AI will generate. Just wait for it a bit. Okay. So in a rapidly evolving world, are we prepared for the AI revolution? According to a recent Forbes article, AI is not just influencing tech and Wall Street, it's reshaping the very essence of leadership. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Okay, I think it's working fine. I mean, we didn't hit any roadblocks at all at the first try. So that's something. So so that's it. That's our AI thought leadership LinkedIn. So as you can see, I mean, it's super, super helpful because for it can, help your clients when it comes to, turning their daily reads and quick thoughts into like a content. So if you're someone helping out this people, you're working with consultants, you're working with founders, you're working with executives that want to grow their personal brand, I think this can tremendously help them. I mean, it keeps their name in the LinkedIn feed without ever needing to, spend hours into writing this LinkedIn post. So that's our live build for today. I'm now opening the floor for any questions at all from the community. Anything at all, guys? Okay. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, it's a quiet Thursday. I mean, how about you guys? What's everyone's working on? I mean, are you working more on your Aspot builds, on your Aspot tools? I mean, we do remember, Drew's advice, last week, about going out there and showing our Aspot, our builds or our tools that we have been creating inside Aspot. But if you are someone that's, struggling on how to get started with, with an idea or with something that you want to work on, you can, work with me. I mean, we can collaborate and turn those ideas into actions. I mean, you can find I'm sorry, my one-on-one onboarding link in, let me just show you guys where that can be easily accessed. So that will be here. So if you click here under schedule a one-on-one call, it will open up my tidy calendar. And then you can just select a time that works for you. Oh, I think this one's in Manila time. So yeah, you can just select a time that works for you so that we can get started on your AI tool. So that's what I'm here for, guys, to help you get unstuck or help you get started, so yeah, that's it. Any last questions before we wrap up the call? I think we're good. Right. Eric says I'll book a call. Awesome. I'll look forward to that, Eric. I will very look forward to that. Okay. I think that's it for today's live session. I will be posting a recording of this later. And also along with the copy of the Intelliform. And thank you all so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.